of my comments up, or I can't see. Only just. So I've had a question off Paul, and Paul's asked me, why did I decide to share my story now? Now, of course, all my friends have always known my story, and anybody that I meet, I'm not ashamed of it. I tell them what's happened. Um, Generally because I meet most people when I'm on holiday and I'm in a bikini and I've got a whacking big scar down my stomach. So people tend to sort of like, I remember going somewhere, it wasn't long, maybe a couple of years after I'd had it, and your scar then is still quite, now it's quite white and it just blends in, but that it starts off pink and it takes ages to go. And I walked past this woman, this is nothing to do with the chapter in the book, I walked past this woman once and she was lay on a sunbed, and I swear she turned into an owl because she just went, and I was like, I said to John, does she want a picture? But I'd rather people just ask me. So when we went to Mexico 5 years ago, we met Sean and his wife Sam and their daughter, and they just asked right out while we were talking to them. I can see you've got scars. What's happened? And obviously, I'm quite happy to talk about it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Um, so the reason I decided to share it was because through talking to Camelita, the lady that's been doing my business coaching, and telling her about my story, and she just convinced me that it might help so many other people. And if excuse me, if it only helps one other person, then I guess it's done its job, because it can either help somebody that's going through something similar, or it can help a member of somebody's family that's going through something similar. And if it can do that, then that's the reason I decided to share it. I may as well share it and make it into something positive for somebody else. So I'll start with chapters 9 and 10. I can't believe I'm at the end of the book, and it's a Friday night, and I can have a glass of wine when I'm finished. 9 starts with our decision not to tell Luke, which was a conscious decision not to tell him, because, like I said previously, cancer to kids to me is just a scary word. And no trying to fluff it up or try and alleviate their fears. I just don't. I didn't think that you would be able to do that. So we decided not to tell him. He obviously knew I was going in for surgery, but he just thought it was for something that they needed to take out and then I'd be fine, which essentially is how it was. But he heard lots of snippets of stories where people were talking, obviously, about what was going on, or he'd come into a room and everybody had stopped talking, and it just made him wonder. And then, of course, when he came into the hospital and I had the lines in and he run off and I looked really poorly and I was poorly when I got home, he obviously knew there was something more to it. But we thought we were doing the right thing. But if I could go back now, I would have told him from the start. We didn't think that it would affect him like it did, and it did affect him. It affected him mentally. He was very angry. One minute he'd be very sad. The next minute, his emotions were all over the place. And at first, we put it down to his age, um, but or having Olivia come along after 11 years and he wasn't the only child anymore. But we've gone out of our way to stop that happening, and our friends have gone out of their way to stop him feeling like that as well. When they come to see Olivia, they bring Luke something, or take him somewhere, or so he we never really wanted him to feel like she was taking his place as a child. We made a fuss that he was the big brother who, she would look up to him. But he still struggled. And eventually I took him to the doctors. Now I took him to the doctors quite a few times over a number of years. Um, and I asked for him to be referred because of how angry he was. And our doctor's great. She was brilliant with him. She didn't think he needed referring. She just talked to him every time he went. She talked to him and she just listened to him. Um, and then when he was about 13, I was really worried about him and I took him. Um, and he wanted to speak to her on his own, which was fine. And he was in there for, she doesn't stick to a 5 or a 10 minute appointment. He was in there for a long time. Um, and when I went back in, she said to me, um, he still thinks you're gonna die. So this was 2 years later. Um, and I said to him, but Luke, I've been for scans and they're clear. And because by then, he knew, and he knew what I was going for scans to make sure everything was clear and stuff. But I think by not telling him and being secretive with it and him hearing other bits and pieces from other people, it damaged him. And it I would almost say, God, he's 22 now. I would almost say that still damaged, he's still damaged by that now, because he still gets angry and his emotions are all over the place. Um, Obviously, as the years have gone on, he's got better, but his teenage years were a nightmare. Um, and I will always think that, apart from him being a real teenager, I will always think that that manifested itself through not telling him. Um, but you know that that is what it is. He built it up in his mind after I was better to be something then that it wasn't, and it took us years to convince him that I wasn't gonna die. Um, so it's hard, and if I could go back and have a conversation with myself at the time, I would tell myself to be as honest as you could be. And Christie's have people that will sit with you and talk to them with you to explain what's going on in a child friendly way. And I wish we'd taken advantage of that when it happened. But it is what it is, and we did what we did, and we did it for the right reasons because we thought that was for the best. But in hindsight, and if anybody was asking me now, um, I would definitely say tell them as early as possible and talk it through with them as often as possible, so that they don't have the same issues that Luke had in thinking all the time that I was gonna die. Um, yeah, it was uh, it was a difficult time from then all the way, I would say, till he was 17. Um, it was difficult, but and then after that, um, going back to after I left BG, after my lovely 21 years there, that that Christmas and New Year when I first left, um, we had a great time because there was no pressure. I wasn't running here, there, and everywhere, or being dragged to Oxford for a meeting on top of Christmas or Leicester. Um, I from the 9th of December when I left up to Christmas, I just shopped till I dropped, which is great because I love shopping. Um, the kids had lists as long as their arm because they knew I'd been made redundant and I had this pot of money that I came away with. So they were spoilt rotten that Christmas. Um, we just had a real good family Christmas, I guess. Once all the stress had gone, and once I'd left, I realised how stressful that job actually was, and how much time that sort of corporate environment takes you away from your family. I'd always be here, there, and everywhere, rushing Olivia around, rushing Luke around, running from A to B. Um, it it was just it was great. I did a spring clean. I moved furniture around. I decorated, threw loads of crap away. Um, I took up running with a friend. We started the Couch to 5K, which I don't think I've ever got to the 5K, um, because we took it up in, I think it was the January, as our New Year's resolution. Um, and then in the February, I decided that I was going to start my new venture, um, and set up Quote for Energy, which of course was new to me because most of my time in British Gas was the corporate world. I had looked after SME brokers, um, but the corporate world is so different to SME. And just I started off just focusing on SME, so it was a learning curve for me in not only setting up the business but also dealing with the SME customers directly, because of course I'd only ever looked after brokers in SME, whereas I had looked after industrial and commercial customers before. So that was fun. Um, but it was great, and the idea behind it was there were so many rogue brokers out there that I'd seen from a supplier point of view, that the intention for me was to educate those customers um, on the things to be wary of when they're going through an energy consultant, or if they say they're doing it for free. Well, they're not. They're a business. They're 100%. They're taking a commission, or they're being. You've got to pay them. They're not doing it for free, and that was the idea really. So when I speak to a customer, I always educate them. I try and educate them through my social media. I do a monthly flyer out, and it's always a tip or what to look out for or how to learn something. So that was the idea behind the business. Um, there's been it's been a long rocky road. I can't believe I've been left British Gas for nearly 4 years, and in February I will have been running Quote for Energy for 4 years. It's been hit and miss, let's say. Um, Luke's worked for me, and then I've had to get rid of him because I can't afford him. Um, my friend, who wasn't a friend at the time, she was introduced to me through somebody else. Vicky's worked with me, and that was great. But then the pandemic hit, and then I couldn't afford to keep her either. Um, and it's hard, telling your own son that you haven't got enough money to pay him, so he's going to have to go and find another job. It's hard. And Vicky as well. She's amazing and she's great at what she does. And if I could have kept her, I would have done. But she's out of a negative. She's done a positive herself because she's set up her own company now, um, doing industrial and domestic cleaning and carpet cleaning. So now she's got her own little empire to grow. So there is always a silver lining with things. I always try and pick a positive out of a negative. So for me, that's great for her. And of course, if I get busier, I'd love her to be able to work for me, but she's got work herself coming out of her ears, so that won't happen. Um, but it's been hard, and anyone that knows how the business started knows that the journey from the off was hard, and I knew it was going to be difficult. Um, but nothing can be any more difficult than what I've already been through. So 100%, it was worth me giving it a go. And it will work because I throw myself into everything that I do, so I will make it work. Um, it's a roller coaster, but it's a roller coaster I enjoy, whereas I don't really enjoy roller coasters. Work for me is a passion, um, so yeah, that's what I did after the cancer, and I'm now 10 years cancer free, which makes me nervous because I'm not under the hospital's eye anymore. But obviously, I'm fine. I know I'm fine, really. But when you didn't know you were poorly to start with, it's always there in the back of your mind that, well, was that twinge something? Or I don't really feel very well today. Could it be something else? But they're just things that you have to just push to the back of your mind, and otherwise I'll be a hypochondriac and I'll always be poorly. So that's a quick one tonight. Chapters 9 and 10. Does anyone want to stick any questions in the comments and I'll ask? But that's it. 9 and 10, the end of the book. How scary is that? Yes, Hannah, a rocky road to say the least. No questions. Oh, well, thank you guys. Thank you for listening to me and joining in. It's been amazing. I might consider doing some more. I'm thinking of writing a second book. How scary is that? I'll speak to you all soon. Take care. Love you. Bye. Bye.